One of the biggest non-stories in years surfaced this week in the NHL. And I laugh a bit because if we're doing the research like I do and you're going through a couple dozen newspapers for every day, this was plastered everywhere. Now, don't forget, strikes were big news these days because baseball, as we were doing this, was just in the process of ending its strike against the major league owners. Well, this week, members of the Chicago Blackhawks somehow got the word out that they were threatening to strike over the National Hockey League's enforcement of the limits on the curve of hockey stick blades. Now, the rule limiting the curves on the blades had been there for a while, but it's the usual practice in the NHL 50 years ago and 50 years later. The rules are there for the convenience of league officials who might have to cite a rule as something being illegal if they have to cover their ass in the case of liability. Most of the time, though, with NHL rules, it's basically a wink-wink, nudge-nudge attitude towards any type of enforcement. And they're only now, I think, starting to scratch the surface of actually being serious about doing the right thing. For some reason, in the 72 playoffs, they decided it was time to enforce the curvature of the stick rule, although they really didn't want to. But Scotty Morrison, the head of officials, he went around to and this is how ludicrous this was. He went to every team before the playoffs started, and he signed every stick that measured to be legal. Signed every stick to measure them that'll be legal. The referee in chief. And then the players would all magically use the real sticks. Well, guess what? They checked some of the Blackhawks sticks, and they were using sticks without Scotty Morrison's autograph. Can you imagine that? Of course, the Blackhawks didn't like this, said they were going to strike. They were pissed off, basically. Well, they were going to take a vote of all the NHL players, put it to a vote, and see if this is demanding that they would be given more say into the rules and that this could not be happening all the time. A day later, this much ballyhooed strike idea disappeared into the annals of time, dying a quick and necessary death, with all the parties saying it was much ado over nothing.